All right, we are actually recording here. We're back. Sports Talk with Rashid and Barrick for the new subscribers that subscribe. I'm Rashid.
I'm Barrick.
This is Barrick over here. We're working on the name. Let's just get right to it. The actual title of this video was supposed to be Knicks win the lottery and was actually going to draft Zion.
Yeah, that was the plan.
That was the actual plan today.
That was the plan. Listen, I don't know, man. As a Knicks fan, you got to sit back and say, we had hope. We always have hope.
You had high hope. High hopes.
High hopes. Yeah. But you know what? You got to be realistic on certain things. Remember, the key point of this whole thing is called a lottery. Okay? And they gave us a 14% chance of grabbing the actual number one overall pick in the upcoming NBA draft. 14%. Now, we didn't get that 14% working our way. New Orleans had a 6% chance of getting the number one pick, and they were awarded the number one pick. Now, listen, they said the system was changed a little bit, with the exception of Boston making their changes and their trades. Pretty much every team that was qualifying for the first pick were teams that did not qualify for the playoffs. Okay, that's great. At least that has some level of consistency. But as a New York fan, as a Knicks fan, most, if not most fans out there consider it a waste. They consider it an opportunity to be in a position to qualify for a postseason moving forward. By not getting the number one pick, we don't have that opportunity. Let me tell you something. Zion Williamson is a beast. He looks like a kind of guy that will basically help turn a team around very fast. But he can't do it by himself. But the bottom line is you had put him in New York and hopefully got two max players considering the KD and Kyrie. Yeah, there's a good chance. They had a chance to do something in the Eastern Conference.
Hey, listen, you might have actually got me as a Knicks fan, man. Had that package was actually put together, man. I was like, oh man, I was distraught last night. I mean, Brooklyn Nets doing well. The Knicks would have been doing well. There would have been so much hype with the New York teams. Oh man.
Well, it's not over. It's not over because you still got to look at the free agency. You had how the teams are going to complete, how they were going to finish, who were the lotteries were going to play itself out to be, and then you got the free agent signing. All right, so we're on the third and final tier. We got past this already now. We ain't getting the number one pick, period. But I want to knock on something before I get to that point. And what I want to knock on is the fact that we got to put an end to this whole tanking thing. Yeah, let's lose these games because we get the number one choice. All right, let's start tanking these things. Let's just start purposely losing games because we want to get that number one pick. We want to get Zion. There ain't no guarantee you're going to get Zion. There's no guarantee you're going to get anything. Teams that, the Suns, they were just as bad as the Knicks. They're not even picking the top five. Same thing with Cleveland. How did their fan base feel? They were taking games too. So there's no guarantee. And plus you got people who are hard working that go out there and they spend their hard-earned cash to go see a Knicks game. And for what? To look at the product on the floor that's not even performing at their highest level. Why? Because they're trying to get the next number one pick, which is going to be Zion Williamson.
Well, you have
tanking.
You have to look at the future, man. I mean, tanking in a way, some it does work. You got Joel Embiid.
To what degree does it work?
You got Joel Embiid.
Listen,
and
man.
You got Ben Simmons.
It's a lottery.
It's a process.
The process what? The process what? We talked about the process a couple of weeks ago. All right? The process, it took a long time for that process to work. And let me tell you something. Those guys weren't, you don't have Marshall Falk. You don't have Falk. What happened to him? He's not playing for you. If they had him at point guard, who knows where they'd be right now? This so-called process thing, I don't believe in it. I don't. The concept boils down to this. And I'm on the side of the actual fan. That's why I'm making this comment. You go into the arena to see, especially you bring a young kid who's seen their first game. You don't want to see no trash. We're purposely missing shots. We're not diving for loose balls. We're not getting back on defense. We're not communicating. We're not taking proper shots. All these things constitute the concept you're not trying to win a basketball game, which means what? You're tanking. And where they get you? You still don't have Zion. You still don't have him. So stop tanking. Go out there and play hard because there's no guarantee you're going to get the number one pick.
Yeah, well, you have to get talent first before you can actually, and that's the whole thing. You were trying to get Zion; he's a game changer. All right, let's dive into the Pelicans. Anthony Davis, he still wants to be traded.
Yeah.
I think if he does stay there, Anthony Davis at the 5, Zion at the 4, Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday's a great point guard, in my opinion.
He's really more of a 2 than an actual point guard than an actual 1, but yeah, he could play some point forward. He's more like a combo guard.
Yeah, we live in a hybrid guard league anyway, so it doesn't really matter at this point.
What do you think AD should do? Should he still want to actually be traded from like basically a crappy organization to a more crappier organization like the Lakers?
Let's look at the option. The option right now is Boston and LA anyway. If you really think about what's going on, Boston has all the pieces. They have the flexibility. They have some money to spend. They have more viable pieces. The Celtics can get something done with New Orleans. So can LA. All right, and in my opinion, those would be probably the main destinations. I mean, somehow the Knicks fans have been starting to fall in love with his AD to New York. He's not coming here. He's not coming here.
AD or KD?
AD.
Okay.
He's not coming here. Okay, I think Boston and LA have better options on the table that will interest New Orleans in a possible trade.
In terms of, now the Knicks do have the number 3 pick.
Yeah, but it's probably going to be R.J. Barrett.
No, I'm saying they can actually shop that pick.
R.J. Barrett. Okay. You listen, first of all, you're not shopping a pick until you actually make a pick. All right? First and foremostly, the rumor out there initially was if the Knicks did get the number 1 pick, they were thinking about packaging Zion, Knox, all right, and possibly Ntilikina to New Orleans for AD. Then the next rumor came out of MSG saying, no, we were going to hold on to that number 1 pick. So we don't know what would have happened had they got the number 1 pick. But the Knicks now got the 3rd pick, and that means it's going to be R.J. Barrett out of Duke. And I want to throw something else out there for all the Zion fans. We're going to jump on this. We're staying on New Orleans, but I just want to throw something else out there. Do you understand that the leading scorer in Duke University last season was not Zion? It was R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett was the leading scorer. But what's making you think about Zion being the transitional player is because of what he's able to do. And I'll point out 2 things that he did do, okay, that makes him more interesting. The fact of the matter is, against Virginia, when Virginia, who is eventually is a national champion this season, okay, there was a wide open 3-point shooter on the opposite side of the floor. Zion was on the weak side. He ran over and jumped up in the air and blocked that shot before he was able to get it over and put that ball into the stands. Then against Clemson, when they're up 22 points, Zion is covering his man. They're playing a man-to-man defense. The defender who's ahead of him, which is Cam Reddish, forced the ball handler into a turnaround. Zion read it, doubled him up, took the ball for what people normally see as a highlight windmill dunk. That's what you're getting from Zion. You're getting that whole hustle from floor to floor, side to side. That's what Zion's bringing you. He still got to work on his jump shot. But I'm only mentioning that is because if you had him as your number 1 pick, yeah, with that kind of play, yeah, anybody's going to be interested in it. Okay? But with the 3rd pick, you're going to have R.J. Barrett, who's a solid left-hander. He's a southpaw handler. But he's a hustler. He plays good defense. He has a good jump shot. He can get to the basket.
So you think his game will translate into the NBA?
I think once he works on his right-hand side, which is very easy to do he will.
Well, I won't say easy, but it'll take a couple of years.
Listen, man, all he has to do is learn how to move that right hand. Don't let that ball get over your waist. That's how I learned how to play ball, too. Don't let that ball bounce off your waist. Keep control of that ball and learn how to maneuver and keep it in front of you while keeping your head up and figuring out what's going on the floor. He can put that together along with what he already has. R.J. Barrett can be a great player for the Knicks. Remember, he was the leading scorer in for Duke University this past year, scoring 24.3% a game. I'm sorry, 24.3 points per game. He was your leading scorer. R.J. Barrett.
I'm just disappointed, man, that Memphis and New Orleans just beat out the Lakers and the Knicks for the number 1 pick. I mean, come on, man.
Hey, listen, man. John Morant's the other guy we ain't talking about. He's the other transitional talent. He's another guy that can shoot, run. He can run the floor.
You think Memphis takes him, or maybe they're actually satisfied with
man, that's
Mike Conley Jr. and the Knicks probably.
Well, Conley's
John Morant.
Conley's on his way out, and Memphis knows this. If you get John Morant, he is your point guard for the next 10 to 12 years. You know this already. But that's not even a question. I was asked a question by a friend of mine earlier today. What if Memphis pulls a whammy and decide they're going to take R.J. Barrett and leave John Morant out there? And naturally the Knicks are going to take him. Does that flip things around? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because John Morant is just as a highlight reel as Zion Williamson is. But I don't think Memphis is doing that. I think Memphis is going to take John Morant out of Murray State. He's going to take him. All right? And we're going to have R.J. Barrett, who is the third best player.
Yeah, because in terms of ticket sales and actually getting people to the seats, John Morant, it's definitely more of a draw than R.J. Barrett is.
He's going to be a draw. Listen, people, I concur to a small degree. I'll tell you why. Because New Yorkers want a hard-working player. I mean, when Patrick came up at the #1 pick, what Patrick had? Patrick was a 7-footer who could do what? Defend and block shots. But here was the thing. He could take jump shots, but he wasn't a highlight reel. Listen, let me tell you something. We haven't had a highlight player in New York uniform since Kenny Skywalker. Y'all remember Kenny Skywalker?
Oh, you had Stoudemire. Yeah, you had Amari.
Amari was only
dunking on people.
Amari was only doing it if you set him up. He had Steve Nash in Phoenix. That's how he was looking good. He ain't had no Steve Nash in New York. All right? I'm talking about a guy that could take the ball from the top of the key and basically run down the middle of the floor and ram it on you. Kenny Skywalker out of Kentucky. That was back in what, 89, 90? We haven't had a highlight reel since him. So, yeah, that's another reason why you wanted Zion. But John Morant's another highlight reel. He is. Let's face it. Okay? But R.J. Barrett is going to be the guy that's going to work really hard for you. He's going to work really hard for you. And I think he's going to be a good pick.
Listen, I'm going to go on Draft Express, and I'm going to go by their analyzation. And then I'm definitely going to go watch some games with R.J. Barrett. And we'll see if he, to me, in my opinion, if he's actually going to, translate or not. But
everything's a hope. Everything's a hope. We don't know how these guys are going to be.
Shoot. Same thing with Cam Reddish. Can't shoot. As we've seen with Philadelphia in the second round series, which we're about to get into in a second. You need shooters. You need floor spacing. You need that stuff.
And the thing too, if R.J. Barrett, if you do get Kyrie, you got R.J. Barrett on your team. R.J. Barrett's going to have to play off the ball.
Can he do that though?
We don't know. We're going to have to find that out.
If he can't shoot.
We're going to have to find that out because his responsibility is to be able to help spread the floor. See, if you're going to put the ball in his hand, and he's probably better off helping you right there off the bat. But you got Ntilikina, who I think at some point you got to get rid of him because he may be your quote-unquote off-the-bench point guard, but he has no guts, man. I don't see when times he needs to go to the gut, he needs to go to the paint. He doesn't go to the paint.
The Knicks just have a dark cloud over them, man. It's just like,
they don't got a dark cloud, man. When you start believing in that crap, you're going to always have that mentality, man. Listen, it happens to many, many teams, man. Look at the Cleveland Browns. They've been crappy for 12 years. 12 years. Now, all of a sudden, they got a quarterback. They got Odell Beckham. And now, all of a sudden, the Browns are going to be on national TV counted 6 times. When was the last time they been on TV 6 times? When they had Bernie Kosar on them boys, which was back in the early 90s.
A possible Super Bowl?
Yeah. And they talking Super Bowl. Better relax on that. Better pump the brakes on that. But my whole point to the comment is teams have had that thought process, oh, man, we can't get it right. We can't get it right. And eventually you do. I think it'll eventually happen at MSG. They'll get it right. And I think right now they are trying to get it right. I think Perry and Mills are doing a good job. But they're going to do it. I mean, you're not hearing anything from Dolan. Dolan is sitting down in his office somewhere in his house chilling. Okay? I really think right now he put the 2 guys in place to make the wheel and deal. And I think they're going to do a fairly good job getting this thing back together. But it's going to take time like anything else will take time. We put a lot of eggs in that basket on the Zion at #1 pick, and it didn't help that people out of the MSG camp was like, yeah, we're going to get Zion, we're going to get Zion. There's no guarantee you're going to get him. It's a lottery, man. It's a lottery.
They had Patrick Ewing there.
85, bro. 85.
He was there. That's what made me actually really believe. I felt like in Braveheart, I got to believe. I believe. I said, Patrick Ewing there, #1 pick. I wrote the description in the headline. The Knicks actually are going to win the #1 pick.
This is the same Patrick. Zion. This is the same Patrick Ewing for 4 years straight. I'm going to guarantee a championship, and we got knocked out the second round. Instead of dunking the ball, he laid the ball up. This is the same Patrick. I'm sorry.
I think that was Starks that actually guaranteed the chip.
No. It's always Patrick. It's always Patrick. Please, don't go there. Don't go there. It was always Patrick. I'm guaranteed a championship, but against Indiana, you had the winning shot. You get to the basket instead of dunking, you're laid up. Come on now.
I remember that.
Come on now, stop that. So having him there might have been somewhat of a good pick, but he was only there because he was a first-round pick. And guess what? That was 1985. The last time the Knicks had a first-round pick.
So you saying Ewan probably cursed him then?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's why he was there. He wasn't there for nothing else. Yeah, he's an icon. You could have put Walt Frazier there. He won a championship for us.
No, I think Patrick Ewing. It's just that I just saw energy in him. I was like, I think it's going to happen. I think the universe is going to start moving atoms and electrons around, and I'm like, it's going to happen. And that was the title of the show. Knicks win the draft. I mean, Richard Jefferson guaranteed that the Knicks.
Oh, your boy RJ. Okay,
yeah.
You can't guarantee a lottery, man. What's popping? You cannot guarantee a lottery. Hey, listen, guarantee me when the Mega Millions is up to $100 million. Guarantee me that I'm going to walk in there.
That's a different type of lottery. I mean, the odds is it's a little bit better. 14% chance. That man.
Yeah, 14% chance. Where we at now?
Number 3.
Okay. Which means translation, that means we have an 86% chance of not getting them.
That's true. I agree.
New Orleans had a 6% chance, which means they had what? A 94% chance of not getting them. They got them. Please, man. It's a lottery. I'm going to go on record right now. I personally think this, before we go to our next topic, that the NBA should do one copy kind of concept. Only one thing. Every sport wants to go their own route. Baseball got their own different way of draft. We don't even know who they're drafting. You don't know who. In baseball, you don't even see a draft. You don't know who they draft. I mean, you go on MLB Network, you see, okay, they drafted this player. They drafted that player. We don't know who these guys are. Hockey, you don't even know what the hell's going on. But basketball and football, at least, it's publicized. But I think the NBA should adopt the NFL concept in which the worst team in basketball should get the number one pick.
That actually encouraged tanking, though.
Not in football. Listen, the Giants only got the number one pick back in 2004, and they got Eli Manning.
But, you see you're double talking now. You said you wanted parity within the NBA.
The Giants,
now
listen to me. I said again, the Giants had number one pick in 2004. They weren't tanking. They weren't good. In football, you can tank in football, but to a small degree. Because you're sitting down your best players. You're not even putting a great game plan together. That's another concept of tanking. But in basketball, I don't see you making quality shots. I don't see you driving to the basket. I don't see you driving for loose balls. I don't see you communicating to a defense.
Tanking in basketball is you'll put the young guys out there. That's how you actually.
Listen, they were all guys out there. They even traded for players, and they still were bad. You stayed for DeAndre Jordan. You're still bad. Come on now. I just think at the end of the day, this is my opinion. I think the only thing the NBA should do, and basically copying from the NFL, is let the worst team get the overall number one pick. That team this year was the Knicks. They only won 17 games. Okay? Cleveland won 22. All right? Memphis and Phoenix, they only grabbed 17 wins, right? 19 wins. So at the end of the day, if you adopted that concept, the Knicks would have had the number one overall pick regardless. But you're doing this lottery thing. And teams who are starving to get better need to get guys like Zion coming out there to help them get over that threshold. And you're talking about I'm relying on a damn lottery ball? You're trying a ping pong. I'm relying on a ping pong to get my team better? Listen, Adam Silver, do me a favor, brother. Somehow, some way, this gets to your front desk. Copy the NFL on that. Ain't nothing wrong with doing that. At least you're ensuring that there will be a solid parity in the NBA. Solid. Because every team's going to have a chance to get a player that's marketable. A player that's going to help you get better. A player that will lure a free agent or two to your team. They help you get over that threshold. Adopt that concept. Please, brother. Adopt that concept. You need to. You cannot put your franchise on a ping pong ball. You can't do it.
Well, franchise is. On a ping pong.
Franchise is, whatever the case may be. But you just can't do it on a ping pong ball. I'm sorry. I played ping pong before. Ain't no guarantee I'm going to hit the ping pong either.
All right, let's get into the next topic. The second round, Boston and Philadelphia came in within possession. The shot made from all around the world.
No, Toronto and Philly.
I'm sorry, Toronto. I'm sorry. Toronto and Philadelphia.
Yeah, you want to get on Boston somehow. I don't know why you want. We're going to do Boston later. Go ahead.
Toronto and Philadelphia.
Right. Now, Toronto won this game on what we consider maybe in top 5, one of the greatest last-second shots made by Kawhi Leonard. Yeah. See, you got me saying I'm saying Kyrie now. You see what I'm saying? Leave that Boston stuff out of it, bro. All right, so we have this shot that bounced around the ring 3 or 4 times before it fell. And I tell you something, it was amazing. It was thrilling. And this kind of thing in basketball, man, we love to see, man. We love to see a Game 7 come down to the last possession and a shot like that made. But you know the difference of that shot? That shot moved Toronto into the Eastern Conference championship series against the Milwaukee Bucks, which I think is going to be a great series. But that one shot moved them over. That one shot put Philly in a position right now where they got to start answering questions. Like,
yeah, that was my next question. What's next for Philadelphia now? Dude, you can't max out all four of these guys. So what's next?
What's next for Philly right now is...
Do you give Tobias a max? I don't think he's a max player. I think he's... And I was, Barrick and I, we were talking the other day. Max players shows up on the road. I would tell you something. Tobias Harris, sometimes I hate that concept about, well, I play better at home, I play better on the road. I don't know. It's a mental thing. A lot of things in sports overall is play from the neck up anyway. But listen, Tobias Harris really helped that team this year. Okay? But I always said this, and I said this a couple of shows ago. I said that our biggest problem with Philly is the fact that you're playing 4-on-5 basketball. And that means Ben Simmons is a liability on offense. The man can't shoot. He can't hit a barn, man, if you ask him to. Okay, the man cannot shoot. The man can drive the basketball into the paint. He can dish. And his defense is a little suspect, too. No, he's a really good defender. He's an excellent defender. He's just not locking down no Kawhi Leonard, though. But
listen,
he's actually a really good defender.
Like I said, it's a little suspect, bro. A little suspect. I mean, listen, Kawhi Leonard's a great defender. Okay, Ben Simmons is a good defender. There's a difference. All right? But we're not going to go on his defense. We're going to go on the fact that the man cannot produce a basket from 15 feet or out. You cannot spread the floor. I mean, what is Toronto doing? They're clogging the paint. What are they going to do? Because you're driving. Now, what's Embiid doing sitting outside taking jump shots when he should have been in the paint?
Well, again, in the playoffs, your first option, I think Joel's strength is actually he's a post-up player. That's his strength. Either he needs to move without the basketball more and try to get catches from there, but with the zone defense.
But that's not Joel Embiid's game to move around without the basketball.
Well, listen, your first option is definitely going to be taken away. We're going to get into the Portland and Golden State series a little bit later.
But that man's 7 foot tall, Rasheed. He's 7 foot tall. You get in the paint, man.
He's mobile. He's not a slow-footed big.
That man's half injured.
I agree, but listen, he has to get his weight down. He's mobile. I seen him laterally moving, blocking shots, and
he can move for a guy his size, no doubt about that. He has an ability to put the ball on the floor near the basket and get his shots, which is what I'm saying, man. Listen, the shots weren't falling from the outside. Get in there, get into the paint, take them 12-footers, take them 10-foot jump shots. Get near the basket, get to the free throw line, slow the game down. Because obviously your man Simmons ain't helping you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do something. I mean, now Brett Brown was a guy that I held a large amount of responsibility. You told me off the camera many times, no, he's doing a good job. No, listen, is he helping developing Ben Simmons? Because that's what, and then you're getting out coached. Why didn't you make an adjustment?
I don't know about getting out coached. There's just limitations to Ben Simmons.
He can make adjustments on defense. Is what I'm saying. He didn't make adjustments.
Tactical coach ever, but if your players have flaws and limitations to their games, it's like you said, it's 5-on-4 basketball. So I can't blame Brett Brown for that. You got to look at Elton Brand too, who was their general manager.
You have to, the coach's job is to develop. Listen, Elton Brand, what? I mean, you put the team together. This is the team you have.
Well, they have a shooting coach. It's just a matter of him willing to work, those jump shots, the jump shot of Ben Simmons.
But have you seen his posture? Have you seen his posture? He's not facing the basket. His hands, his fingers aren't spread that much. His elbows not tucked. His footwork is not there. That's all a point of making a great jump shot. It's not there. What work is he doing? Develop this man. How did he get out of LSU like that? Run and gun. That's what they were doing.
Like I said, his game is more like Jason Kidd. In his earlier days, he's just happy passing the ball to different shooters, getting everybody else involved. I don't think he's.
Oh, so he's Jason Kidd now.
That's his pretty much his game. And you look at you compare the two. He's more like a Jason Kidd type of player.
Okay,
Jason Kidd in his earlier days wasn't a great jump shooter, but in today's NBA, with teams, the opposing teams that's able to pack the paint.
That's the key point in today's NBA. So you can't compare him to Jason Kidd right now.
Well, right now his game is like that in a sense. He just wants to pass.
Yeah, but you have to have a relevance in today's game. You have to have a relevance of some kind of jump shot. I'm sorry, it is what it is. In today's game.
Well, listen, it took Brook Lopez, maybe 3 years. They go from 30% when he was with the Nets. Next year, he's with the Lakers, 34%, 35%.
Yeah, but
now Brookie today is at 38 to maybe 39% three-point shooting. This is a guy who had a nice, decent touch already. Ben Simmons can't shoot, like you said. The mechanics are off.
Yeah, but Brook and Ben play two different positions, Rasheed.
No, this is what's shooting though. You said shooting now. I'm not saying the actual positions.
But it's an added asset for Brook to be able to shoot. As a big man, it's an added asset for him to be able to shoot.
Well, he's not that. Ben Simmons is 6'10". Brook is 7 foot. You're talking about a 2-inch differential in terms of height.
Yeah, but they play two different positions.
They do.
Okay, so his responsibilities are different.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that. Then we know that Ben has to develop a jump shot. Because his responsibility is to score within the paint and outside the paint, as long as dishing the basketball as well. Okay?
Well, if it comes down to making a choice in terms of, who do you actually keep, because the Embiid and Ben Simmons doesn't work together. We know that already. Because they both have to operate really pretty much in the same space. Until either Joel Embiid has to work on his three-point shooting, within the next 2 years. That's the only way they're going to actually be able to stay together.
Listen,
if Ben Simmons doesn't want to shoot, somebody has to sacrifice, man.
Well, he doesn't want to shoot now because he probably already know he can't shoot either. So, listen, let me tell you something. And this is why the first thing I said when we started this particular topic was two teams went two complete different directions on what we consider one of the top 5, maybe top 10 greatest last-second shots ever by Kawhi Leonard. Now, if that shot had not fell, it would have went to overtime. We don't know what would have happened in overtime, now do we? Okay? So, let's just look at it that way. Because the one shot fell, Philadelphia got all these problems. If they had survived that game, they'd be playing Milwaukee.
Well, they were playing horrible defense. First, they let Kawhi go to his right hand. Ben Simmons, for some reason, Joel Embiid got switched on to him. I don't know how that happened, but Joel Embiid had to wind up covering Kawhi Leonard, and Ben Simmons initially did a horrible job and letting him catch the ball. He didn't deny the ball enough. So then you have to play his right hand. He didn't. He let him go right.
So
defense
Kawhi can go to his left. Kawhi can go to his left too.
He can, but you always, regardless, you still want to be able to actually take away their dominant hand. And Ben Simmons defensively did a horrible job of actually doing that.
Yeah, this is the guy you basically rated of his defense, and I just finished saying his defense was horrible.
Well, it was just Joel Embiid. It was it was times he was holding on to the ball and he was getting stripped. He looked like he didn't know what was going on, what plays were being ran, what sets were being run. It was just a lack of I don't know. It's just I'm glad that they actually gave Brett Brown another year to actually try to make this work, because they got these guys in, Tobias Harris, pretty much mid-season. So let them go through a whole training camp together. Let's see how Ben Simmons developed in the offseason.
You need to get Marquez Folk back. You need to get him going.
They traded him already, man. Yeah. He'll be a restricted free agent. So unless you want to play,
they need to get him going. Well, he got traded.
He got traded, I think. Yeah.
I didn't remember him getting traded.
Yeah.
I didn't remember him getting traded. But listen, bottom line is this: you have to get to a position where Ben Simmons is going to be your guy who's going to handle the ball 60% of the time, which basically pretty much means he's going to be the floor general. But he's got to be able to hit them jump shots. All right? If you're saying that he's not working on it personally, that's a bad thing. We don't know for a fact if he is or isn't. We do know one thing. He hasn't shown any sign of elevating his jump shot game.
If Brook Lopez can get better at his three-point shooting and he's a slow, clunky center, then Ben Simmons should be able to actually get better.
Yeah, but this ain't got nothing to do with Brook Lopez. It got something to do with him getting his game together.
But he has a game. He can handle the ball. He can post up. He can finish with both hands.
But that didn't help you in the postseason, did it?
Well,
okay,
yeah.
so Philly's no longer a dormant team is what I'm saying. Philly's now a postseason team. If you're going to get to the playoffs and beyond, you have to be able to provide different aspects to challenging your opponent's defense. Simple as that. If you're only to the point where I can dish the basketball and drive to the basket, we got you. If your defense is suspect at crucial times, we got you. But at the end of the day, with all that crap surrounding the Philadelphia 76ers, there they were at the very last possession of the Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. There they were.
Well, they'll need a bench too, man. They can't. They relied heavily on these starters. Hopefully they'll get a backup center, so Joel Embiid doesn't have to play so many minutes, and you'll have that load management go into play for next year. So you want to touch up on the Nuggets real quick, or like?
No, we're gonna leave the Nuggets alone.
Really
Nuggets. Okay, one thing about the Nuggets is that hey, they had a great season. Their inability to
it came in within a possession. Or
two. They had a great season. I think it just came down to shutting down McCollum and shutting down Lillard, and they couldn't do it. Those two boys were playing well.
And you had other contributions from Rodney Hood, who hurt his knee in that game. All right, let's get into the conference, into the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, man. We seen Portland and Golden State last night. Man, that game was just very, very, very difficult to actually watch.
The game was pedestrian last night, okay? The game was pedestrian. Golden State did what they wanted last night, period. All right? Portland wasn't hitting their jump shots from the outside. The two guards that helped them get out there. Well, that's the whole thing. But, Lillard and McCollum got contested in the Denver series, and they were making them shots. They didn't make them in this series. Listen, Stephen Curry didn't get beat around. He didn't get ran through screens. Stephen Curry was basically beat down free, and he had extreme open look shots, and he was nailing them. Okay? Curry killed them. So did Clay. All right? Clay was using his body to get open jump shots. The bench came out. Iguodala contributed. All right? Everybody contributed from the bench.
Well, they know. Listen, the Golden State Warriors know everything is going to actually go through C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard. So what I would do is,
but they had
try
shot
to
opportunities.
Run some offense through Rodney Hood.
Hood.
He can put the ball on the floor. He can make plays.
But he's not your primary scorer.
Yeah, but the Golden State Warriors know that the offense is going to be ran through Damian Lillard. And I would go small. Why is Steph Curry getting wide open threes? Because they're not open shots. I would go small.
You know why?
Switch everything.
First of all, you got to watch the game. Enes Kanter, who they picked up from the Knicks. All right? Portland picked him up from the Knicks. Enes Kanter's ability to get out to the open shooter killed.
That's not his strength. Yeah,
killed Portland last night.
Because Golden State runs a lot of screens.
High screen pick and rolls, and Kanter was seen standing around the paint.
Yeah,
instead of getting out there and challenging a shot. That was Kanter's possible responsibility, and he failed at. In many different opportunities, they did not get out to the jump shooter. One little pick and roll. McCollum or Lillard gets caught in it, right? And then all of a sudden, Curry's looking at a wide open jump shot, which he's nailing. You have to get out there and challenge it. You see the pick and roll coming in, your responsibility is to come out where you're not covering nobody. Why are you standing in the paint for? Come out there and cover Curry. He's not getting beat up. You're not running him through screens. You're settling for jump shots outside. Run around. Do like Rick Hamilton used to do. Do like Reggie Miller used to do. Them guys killed you because they ran through screens. They wore you down by the fourth quarter.
Absolutely, and that's what they have to do. I don't know.
Get to that game too. Got to get to it.
They look like he had an answer for it because I would just run Golden State off the 3-point line and just make them put the ball on the floor. If they beat you from two or try to challenge some twos, but I would go small if I was Portland. Switch everything.
Let Draymond beat you. Let Iguodala beat you. Who's coming in there? Let them guys get you from 12 feet TV. Let them get the job done. Yeah. Livingston's on one leg, okay, but he was getting points. Yeah. I mean, they were contributing. This is what Golden State did before KD got there. All right, they were contributing. The ball got around. Everybody shared the basketball, which I'm a prime lover of basketball. The ball must go around the floor. But this is what Golden State was doing to Portland. Portland wasn't doing that. Portland run an inside-outside pass, 10, 15 seconds into the possession. If it wasn't there, shots were being hoisted up, and they weren't making them anyway. And then on defense, you're not communicating well. Kanter, who's usually the guy that's responsible to come out, he's sitting there waiting around for instructions. What you sitting around waiting for instructions for? Get out there and cover the guy coming off the swing, off the pick, who was usually Curry or Clay. And they hitting their shots wide open. You know what I'm saying? Come on. You can't win this way.
I tell my boys a lot. I tell my boys this story a lot, and I used to play at Lehman College a lot. My boy Hugo and I, that's all we would do is just come up, set the high screens. Defenders didn't either know how to communicate or would go under the screen, and he just killed everybody from three. And for some reason, a lot of players just can't really grasp that in terms of communicating on the picks. I don't know why, but we used to slaughter teams.
Zones is difficult, Rasheed. Zone is in any. I realize in football and basketball, importantly, when you play zone, it's all about knowing your responsibility at that position on the floor. If you're playing high on that zone, it's the middle and to the right is your responsibility. Okay, you got guys your left, his to the left, and to the wing is responsibility. The guy on your right. That right side to the right sideline is his responsibility. And you got the two guys in the paint on each side of the paint line manning those particular areas. That's zone. Now, when a guy comes around, the ball going from one side, you switch with that ball. This is the whole concept.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why they're not seeing that either, but Cantor is a guy that's on Lost Island.
I'm telling you,
He's
no
on
matter
Lost
how
Island.
talented the teams we would go on, we would run that high screens, just set a bunch of screens, and nobody communicates to say, hey, screen left, screen right. Nobody communicates.
Pick left, pick right.
Yeah,
that's the old fashioned. Pick come to right, pick come to right.
Yeah.
And I don't see nobody adjusting. There's one player following the ball. And then he follows the ball. He's trailing the ball handler. And the guy that's supposed to come help, he's sitting back there walking. Oh, I'm sorry, what am I doing now? And the shot's going up. And it's going. Listen, if you're going to get into this series, you're going to have to get better play from McCollum and Lillard. And I'm not knocking them. They did the best they could in game one, but the shots have got to fall. That ball has to get around. You got to run Curry and Clay through screens. You're going to have to wear them down. Put the ball in either Draymond's hand or Iguodala comes on, put it in his hand. But Livingston, you got to put it in the guy's hands that now figure, oh man, I got to drive the basket I got to get to the basket because Clay and Steph are not open. You got to put them in that position. This is going to be about defense for Portland as opposed to offense. Their defense is going to have to be their offense. And McCollum and Lillard are going to have to play a little bit more minutes, and those shots going to have to fall. But Cantor, I'm putting this all on you, baby. You're going to have to figure out what the hell you got to do and what your responsibility is when they do pick and
he's a
roll.
Liability. He's not going to go
He's
out
an inside paint rebounder guy, but now you got him
go
out there in the open. He's lost. And Golden State and Curry saw that. Curry saw that. Every time they came out of timeout, high pick and roll, and where was Cantor? Looking around. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. Listen, you got to be better on defense, better communicators, and Lillard and McCollum's going to have to carry them to at least one. Because listen, Portland's not winning this series. Anybody out there think Portland's winning this series is out there outside their mind. It's about how many games can Portland get. Can Portland push the envelope against Golden State and make them work hard to get to the NBA Finals? That's going to be the real question. Because Portland's not beating them with C.J. McCollum and Lillard by themselves and bad defense. It's not happening.
Yeah, you need another third party, another third scorer.
And who's going to be that third scorer on your team?
You got Rodney Hood, but he's a bench player. I would start him.
You and Rodney Hood, I don't know.
No, I mean, listen, he's a guy that can get his own shot, that can create offense, without having to be.
Yeah, but he's not consistent in getting his offense. Yeah. If this man was consistent.
He had 14 points, I think. 14 or 16 points yesterday.
Okay, what did he have the game before that? And what he had the game?
Well, yeah, no, he I forgot how much he had in the Denver series, the previous game, but he contributed in that game too. That's why I'm looking at LeBron now. I'm scratching my head. Hey, listen, this guy's actually producing in the postseason here. But he was on your team in the finals. What happened?
Bottom line is
Rodney
George
Hood.
Hill.
George Hill.
Rodney Hood is a very quality. He's a quality.
Trying to lead us into the Milwaukee Bucks.
No, he's a quality player, but I don't know what's
the Raptors series. Speaking of George Hill, so just that leads. What do you actually think about this, man? Who wins the series and how many games? The Bucks and Toronto.
Bucks in 7, bro.
7 games?
Yeah, I think. Listen, don't sleep on Toronto.
I'm not sleeping on them.
Don't sleep on Toronto. The ability to get. But listen, Milwaukee.
That last game between Toronto and Philadelphia, man, the offense was abysmal. Kawhi was. I don't think he's. Man,
I think they have an ability. Listen, you see, every game, first and foremost, is different than the other based on the game plan and based on who you're playing. Their ability right now is to find a way to somehow corral or slow down Giannis. Because you got to think about it. Outside Giannis, who else is going to beat you consistently? It's the key word.
Chris Middleton's an all-star, man.
It's the
He's
key
not
word.
An all-star for no reason.
I hear that consistently. Who else on that Milwaukee team is going to beat you?
Was it Malcolm Brogdon? I forgot the guy's name, man. I keep mispronouncing this guy.
Brogdon, yeah, the French guy, yeah. All right, you have him, but consistently, I'm going to use that word until I'm blue in the face.
Malcolm Brogdon, yeah.
Okay, who's consistently going to beat you if Giannis is hot, if he's cold, if he's not getting to the basket?
You know, you still have Mirotic who can shoot.
He has to be consistent. Go ahead.
Eric Bledsoe.
Eric Bledsoe's good, but has he been highly consistent?
Yes.
Well, listen.
Oh, yeah.
That was in the other series. We're talking about against Toronto. Toronto's played better defense.
And the thing is that what worries me in this series is Toronto's guards. Their guards is Kyle Lowry, too short, 6 foot, and Fred VanVleet. I think he's 6'2", 6'1", 6'2". If they get switched on to Giannis, man, and a screen, that's a problem.
If they can get the switches.
They will. For some reason, that's all these teams do.
If they can get the switches and all that,
they should be able. But yeah, the guards for Toronto actually worry me right now. They're going to be a huge liability.
I think Toronto's a better defensive team than you're getting them credit for. There may be some height disadvantages on the defensive end, but their defensive prowess is pretty good. They're one of the best defensive teams in the playoffs.
Kawhi can't be everywhere, man.
Not only Kawhi.
I love me some Kawhi, man.
His defensive prowess is infectious amongst the team.
Yeah.
You got Serge Ibaka. Don't forget about Serge.
Did you actually think that Nick Nurse is going to have Kawhi actually guarding?
There will be a few
Giannis?
times. There will be a few times where that will happen. My guess is Nick Nurse will not have Kawhi on Giannis the entire game. It would be stupid for him to do that because you will wear him out. But there will be a few times in the game where it will call for him to be on Giannis. And I think he'll do a decent job on Giannis. I really will. But I think at the end of the day, Milwaukee's big. They're a big team who can score it well.
And you have Ilyasova that can actually come out and hit some threes. He's he's 6'11" with a 7'6", 7'7" wingspan, man. He's another long player.
And you do have Gasol on that team.
Yeah, but is he gonna chase Brook Lopez off the 3-point line?
He don't have to chase Brook nowhere. Brook ain't running around nowhere.
No, Brook Lopez is gonna stand on the top of the key.
Well, he's gonna stand there. He ain't running nowhere.
You can't leave a 38.2%.
I'm not saying he will. I'm not saying he will, but that's
you just said he wasn't gonna chase him out there.
He's not. Well, define your word chasing. Because chasing
running off the 3-point line. I mean, that's unless maybe Toronto got to switch their lineup.
Take away his space, get your hands up. Take away his space, get your hands up.
Yeah, but
that's
Marcus
not running.
Gasol's he's not gonna challenge. He's a good defender interior. He's not going to challenge Brook Lopez out there on the 3-point line.
I disagree. I think if you get out there, if he gets out there in a situation where Brook is not in a position where he can get the basketball, he's defending him. He's defending him.
Giannis subject to just drives now. He can just easily drive into the paint at will.
But you got Serge out there. So Serge can't get out there and fill it.
He's not stopping no Giannis, man.
Well, Serge is a good defender. That's why you got him. What's he gonna do? He gonna do the same thing Cantor's doing. He gonna stand out there and look at him? He's not gonna do that.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You may have Marcus saw maybe a liability in this series, and it might compromise their bench to a degree.
You know what? Listen, I don't think Marcus Gasol is going to be running around the floor anywhere, but I think if you're in a position where you can probably switch up and put Serge on Lopez if you wish to do that. If you wish to do that, you can do that. If it's going to be a problem where Serge can't stop and Giannis if he gets to the basket, there are ways to adjust. And that's why Toronto's in this series, because they've been playing good defense. They've been making good defensive adjustments. I see them doing that in this series. I don't think it's going to be a run over by Milwaukee. And I am putting into a Game 7 because I do think at the end of the day, Kawhi Leonard is about the problem scoring the basketball as Giannis is. And that's the way it's going to come down to. Now, you got him what, 5? You picking him at 5? You picking him at 5, 6?
I would say maybe 5 games, man.
Maybe 5. You're not even sure yourself.
5 games, yeah.
Oh, you sure about 5 games?
Yeah, 5 games. Yeah.
All right, we'll see. 5
games.
We'll see.
You know what? Let's get Kawhi because I love Kawhi a lot. 6 games.
Oh, you're gonna give him 6? Okay.
6 is a Kawhi.
Because I believe something strange is going to happen. That's why I'm going 7.
All right, 6 games for me. Kawhi Leonard. I have to give the man some props, man. He's been unbelievable. Probably one of the best players. Between him and Giannis, to me, are actually the best out there. So you going 7 games.
I'm going 7 games because these two teams. Listen, in the regular season, Milwaukee beat Toronto 3-1, and a lot of times.
Regular season and playoffs are different.
Man. No, I'm saying this to the fact that these things happen because neither team was fully healthy at the time these teams were playing.
Okay.
Now you got a full squad on both sides. I'm going with that particular trend, and I'm believing that trend will have this series become very interesting. I think the Portland Golden State series is going to be over in 5. That's my personal opinion. Okay, and I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that that's going to happen. But I think the Milwaukee Toronto series has got gut wrenching all over it. I think it's going to have guts. It's going to have glory. It's going to have a lot of pushing and shoving. This series has got the capability of being a very interesting series, and whoever comes out the East is going to be beat down, and they're going to have to worry about a very fresh Golden State Warrior team. That's how I think it's going to happen. That's why I'm picking it going 7. That's my reasons.
All right, let's go to La La Land, Lakers.
What about them?
Frank Vogel, the new coach. Phil Jackson and Kurt Rambis having input on the coaching decisions in there over Jeannie Buss. What the hell is going on? I don't want to curse. I normally say, what the F is going on? What the hell is going on in La La Land?
La La Land is not La La Land anymore. La La Land is turning into a sideshow circus. Yeah, because, the reason behind a lot of it is a lack of communication. Obviously Magic left because he felt like it was a whole lot of backstabbing going on. And Magic's going to be on, he's going to be making his public appearances over the next day or two, explaining why things went the way it did. And I think he owes the general public and most of anything, the Laker organization.
And LeBron.
LeBron,
yeah.
LeBron is being quiet. He hasn't even talked to to Frank Vogel yet. He hasn't even called him. He hasn't texted him. He hasn't done anything. LeBron is doing his thing. When he's ready to talk to Frank Vogel, he will. But my biggest thing is you hire Jason Kidd as your lead assistant.
They forced Jason Kidd onto Frank Vogel.
I don't know, but listen.
That's what the whole thing
Jason
with the Tyronn Lue thing happened. They wanted Jason Kidd on the staff, and he kind of acquiesced to that a little bit.
Well, you're talking about them forcing him on a coach because that wasn't no. All right, well, I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, we already realized Jason Kidd's presence is for one thing only. He will be the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, if not next year, the year after that. That's going to be a bona fide situation. Frank Vogel was hired to a 2-year guaranteed contract, which can be ended next year because next year is option out. So look for next season to be the way it is. When you see the timeouts, watch a lot of Laker games when they have a regular timeout, not a TV timeout, but a regular timeout. Look what LeBron goes to. He's not going to go to Frank Vogel. He's going to talk to Jason Kidd. Why? Because LeBron does not. Let me say this. He doesn't relate too well to guys who have not played the game. He has a lot of coaching experience, Frank Vogel does, but he has not picked up a basketball and played